Hey everyone, I just wanted to help anybody out that might be in the same position I am. And I am trying to take apart this newer vintage Kenmore 385.11206-300 model. It's the Mini Ultra. It's a cute little thing. You can see by the size of my hand how small it is, but it's a nice little machine, and it has a 1 amp motor, so it's got some power behind it. But it's all plastic on the interior, and that can be problematic when you're trying to disassemble them. You need to be very careful. You don't want to crack it. And trust me, that can happen. There's little tabs that hold these plastic parts together, and it doesn't take a whole lot of strength to snap them off. So I want to show you what I've done so far. And one of the first things that you do is remove the stitch selector knob, and it just pulls straight out. That's really simple. The second thing you do, the service manual states to start in the back, and there are screws that come out very easily, and there are some that are quite hidden, and one of them is right here. That's pretty easy to find. The other one at first was kind of hidden for me, and it is back behind the spool pin. And there is another one right here that after you take the nose plate off, face plate, I just tend to call it a nose plate, there's a screw right here. And to get the nose plate off, I'm sorry, I've kind of jumped ahead of myself on that one. I'll have to see it. And then at that point, there's also behind the bobbin area, there is a screw that's way back in there. You can see the metal piece where the screw screws into. That one has to come out too. I will get that faceplate and get back to that real quick before I go any further. Okay, when the faceplate is in place and screwed into position, there's a screw right on the back of it. That's not the same screw that's on the inside. Then when this comes off, you'll see the other screw behind it that has to come off. So the first tab that I encountered was right here on the top. Well, that wasn't good focus. Let me do better than that for you. Right here. Hopefully that'll focus. Wow, that does not want to focus in very well. And I apologize too. I'm try to use a tripod when I can, but you know, I'm just working on this and hand holding it right now. There's a little tab right here. I just can't seem to get that to come into focus. But I think you can see it. It's right there. I'm touching it. That's the first little tab you'll encounter, and it snaps into place under this with this little tab right here on the faceplate. So those are the ones that I'm referring to when I say you want to be careful that you don't snap them off. After removing all those screws and getting the faceplate off, The service manual simply says remove the back first. Well, it's not that easy. There are tabs inside that are keeping this little thing together. There's one here where you see this piece of plastic. I cut up a dollar store cutting mat and just slid it in there. Someone suggested that I use a guitar pick, and that would have worked great, except I didn't have any on hand and I was antsy to get going. Then there are tabs on the inside where the back removes from the front, and so I placed pieces of plastic there. Now, there is one tab left that I can see when I pull this apart. That's right in here, and I haven't got another piece of plastic in there yet, but that will come next. And to the best of my knowledge, there is not one on this side. I cannot see, and I can freely run a piece of that plastic up and down this whole length, and I don't see another one inside there. But when you remove the back, you will have to push it somewhat this way so that it will clear your electrical plug-in and power switch. And I haven't gotten to that point yet, but when I do, I will pick up where I left off. I've been working on this last area. Well, I believe this is the last area where there is tabs. I will confirm that once I get this thing open. But this last one that's nearest the needle plate is a tough one. It's close and it's tight, so I'm being very careful, and we'll pick up once I get it all opened up. I'm assuming the front will come off much easier once this back is removed. Okay, with just a few extra seconds of work, I'm back, and you can see that there is indeed a tab down under there, right here. So I'm hoping now that I can achieve sliding the back cover off. And I will say, although I printed the service manual, not the owner's manual, but the service manual off of a sewing group that I am in, it leaves a lot to be desired. So any little bit is helpful. It helped me find a couple extra screws initially that I had missed, but it did not even mention these little tabs. As you can see, I am making some progress, and I just have to carefully work it to where I can slide it this direction, like I mentioned earlier, in order to clear the power switch and the plug-in. Okay, as you can see, I am making progress, but this is very, very fiddly, as I've heard them say on some of the British YouTubes I watched. It's become kind of my favorite new little phrase to use because it's so fitting. I am working at it slowly but surely, and we'll get back to you. Every time I let go of something, it wants to snap back in place. So I just wanted to show you an in-between stage. Okay, so if I didn't mention in the beginning that I am not a professional in any way, shape, or form, I'm sure if any experienced sewing machine repair person has viewed this, they're probably laughing, or they can easily tell that I've never done this before, and I'm figuring it out on my own because, as I said, the manual is kind of worthless. But the one thing that I didn't consider and just now discovered after several minutes is as I'm sliding this to what you will see as your right side, the plastic shell has to clear the needle plate frame. So that's what I'm working on now. Okay, as I was maneuvering that, I realized also that it might be helpful if I put the presser foot down. So I did, and it snapped up at least a quarter or a half more inch. And there she goes. I got the back off. Once the back is removed, there are 3 additional screws that I can see that need to come off, and I'll let you know if there's more. There's one right in this groove. Let me see if I can get a shot of the right angle. Straight back, holding the frame of the machine to the front. There's a second one right here that you can clearly see. The other one on the right side is identical to that. If I just had a better angle, there you go. And then another one that I can clearly see is right down here. I'll remove those and I shall return. And as I suspected, the front panel came off easily. Now, the reason why I did this is because I've been learning about vintage machines and how to do the basic servicing and maybe even a little more deep servicing than some people might normally do. But these machines always say that, you know, you don't need to do anything except just a drop of oil in the bobbin area and a couple of other places. But when you take it in to be serviced, they do open it up and they do more on the inside. And that's what I want to be able to do. Please don't do this if you don't feel comfortable with it, or, you know, I wouldn't want to lead anybody astray because, like I said, I'm a novice, but I'm confident enough to at least try this. So that's where I'm going, and I'll pick up servicing and whatnot on maybe another video. Thanks for watching.